What if I told you the secret of champions is not talent, not luck, not connections, but a simple decision to rise before the world and own the morning? The 5M rule is the dividing line between mediocrity and mastery, because while the world sleeps, the few who dare to wake up are building themselves into giants. At 5M, the world is silent. No noise, no distraction, no chaos, just you and your vision. And in that sacred silence, your mind becomes sharp, your focus becomes unbreakable, your purpose becomes clear. That is why winners wake before the sun, because they understand that greatness is not given in daylight, it is forged in the dark when nobody is watching. Most people think success is about big breaks, about sudden opportunities, about luck. But the truth is, success is built in the hours no one sees, in the mornings where discipline beats comfort, in the sacrifices made while others are still dreaming. That is why 5M is not just an hour, it is a standard. It is a declaration that your destiny matters more than your comfort. When you wake at 5M, you are not just starting early, you are training your mind to dominate your body, you are teaching your spirit to lead instead of follow. You are declaring to yourself that excuses will not control you. And every time you rise, you build strength, you build discipline, you build belief that compounds into greatness. The 5M rule is not about sleep. It is about standards. It is about demanding more from yourself. It is about refusing to live like the crowd and daring to live like the few. Because the truth is, ordinary people sleep, extraordinary people rise. And if you want to be extraordinary, you must claim the hour when the ordinary are still lost in dreams. The 5M rule is the training ground for vision. Because at that hour, the noise of the world is gone, and you can finally hear yourself. You can finally see your goals clearly. You can finally plan your future without distraction. Vision is not built in chaos. It is built in silence. It is built in reflection. It is built in the hours when no one else is awake. When you rise at 5M, you give yourself the gift of time. You buy back hours that others waste. You create space for growth, for study, for training, for prayer, for creation. And those hours compound into mastery, day after day, year after year, until the gap between you and the rest of the world is unbridgeable. The truth is, we all have the same 24 hours, but not the same results, because winners invest their hours differently. They rise early, they guard their time, they build themselves when no one is watching. And that is why they rise above, while the rest remain stuck in mediocrity. 5M rule is the test of hunger, because comfort will never wake you up. Discipline will never feel easy, but hunger, the fire to change, the fire to grow, the fire to win. That is what pulls you out of bed at 5. And the question is not, can you wake early? The question is, do you want it badly enough to rise when everything in you wants to stay asleep? Winners want it, and they prove it daily, not in words, but in actions. At 5M, when comfort is calling, they choose destiny. When excuses are screaming, they choose discipline. When weakness whispers, they choose greatness. And that choice, repeated daily, makes them unstoppable. The 5M rule is the secret to unshakable focus, because when the world is asleep, you own silence, and silence is power. It is in that stillness that your mind becomes clear like water. It is in that quiet that your ideas flow without interruption. It is in that sacred hour that you can see exactly where you need to go without the noise of distractions pulling you in 100 directions. Distraction is the killer of dreams. It hides in your phone, in your habits, in the voices of others telling you to slow down, telling you to settle, telling you to stop. But at 5M, those distractions do not exist. No calls, no messages, no noise, only you and your mission. And in that moment, your clarity sharpens like a blade, and your focus becomes unbreakable. Winners know that focus is more valuable than talent, more valuable than resources, more valuable than luck, because a scattered life will never reach greatness, but a focused life can turn nothing into everything. The 5M rule is how you protect that focus every morning. When you choose to rise early, you are saying no to distraction and yes to direction. You are saying no to chaos and yes to clarity. That focus carries into your day. It makes your work sharper. It makes your decisions stronger. It makes your vision unstoppable, because you are not reacting to life. You are creating life. You are not chasing distractions. You are chasing destiny. And that difference is what separates the successful from the lost. The 5M rule teaches you that the mind is like a lens. Unfocused, it is blurry. Unfocused, it is weak. Unfocused, it is powerless. But when you rise in the silence of the morning and aim your energy with clarity, that lens becomes sharp. And with that focus, you can cut through anything in your way. 5M rule is not about one morning, it is about every morning. It is about consistency, because greatness is never built on what you do once. It is built on what you do daily. The world respects results, and results only come from repetition. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and the 5M rule makes discipline a lifestyle, not a choice. When you rise at 5M, you train your body to obey your spirit. You train your habits to obey your vision. You train your life to follow your command. And that is where true freedom comes from, because real freedom is not doing what you feel like, it is doing what must be done even when you do not feel like it. And every time you choose to rise at 5M, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. Consistency is the power that compounds like interest. A small effort done daily becomes unstoppable over time. 5M today is just an hour of sacrifice, but 5M every day for a year is a new identity. It is a new body, a new mind, a new future. That is why winners commit to consistency, not comfort, because comfort kills progress, but consistency creates legends. Discipline is not punishment, it is alignment. Is the daily declaration that your destiny matters more than your feelings. It is the daily reminder that success belongs to the consistent, not the convenient, and the 5M rule makes discipline automatic. It removes negotiation, it removes hesitation, it makes action your default. And when action becomes automatic, success becomes inevitable. That is why the 5M rule is more than a habit, it is a system for becoming unstoppable. Because anyone can rise once, but only the disciplined rise always. The 5M rule is the training ground for mental toughness. Because when the alarm rings and your body screams to stay in bed, and you choose to rise anyway, you are not just waking up, you are breaking limits. You are telling your mind that it cannot control you. You are telling your weakness that it does not belong here. And every time you win that battle, you become unshakable. Mental toughness. It's not built in comfort, it is built in resistance. It is built when you feel tired but still move forward. It is built when you feel fear but still take action. It is built when every excuse rises against you and you silence them with action. And 5M is that battlefield every single day. It is the test that proves your strength before the world even wakes up. When you rise at 5M, you rewire your brain. You teach it that pain is temporary, but pride is forever. You teach it that discipline is power and weakness is death. You teach it that nothing can stop a spirit that refuses to quit. And slowly, you build a mind that does not break under stress, does not fold under pressure, does not run from struggle. Life will test you, it will push you, it will try to crush you. But if you have trained your mind in the silence of 5M, no storm can shake you, no challenge can break you, no setback can stop you, because mental toughness is a muscle, and the 5M rule is the daily workout that makes it grow stronger. Winners are not the ones who never feel weak. They are the ones who train until weakness no longer controls them. And that is what 5M does. It takes weakness out of the driver's seat and puts strength behind the wheel. The 5M rule is the foundation of leadership, because leadership always begins with self-control. Before you can lead others, you must lead yourself. Before you can command respect, you must command your own actions. And the 5M rule is how you prove to yourself every day that you are in charge of your life, not your comfort, not your laziness, not your excuses. When you rise before the world, you declare silently that you are the master, not the follower. You are not waiting for motivation to strike, you are creating it. You are not waiting for opportunity. Knock, you are building it. And that is what leaders do. They act first, they move first, they decide first, while everyone else hesitates. Leadership is not about titles, it is about habits, it is about discipline, it is about example. And when you live by the 5M rule, people notice, they see the strength in your character, they see the clarity in your actions, they see the fire in your purpose. And without you saying a word, they feel your leadership, because true leadership is energy, not position. When you rise at 5M, you create structure in a world of chaos. You create certainty in a world of confusion. You create progress in a world of excuses. And that makes you unstoppable, because leaders are not controlled by conditions, they control conditions. They do not wait for perfect weather, they build ships that sail through storms. The 5M rule is the decision to live as the driver, not the Passenger, it is the daily practice of ownership. It is the act of taking your life into your own hands and leading yourself toward the destiny you were created for. The 5M rule is the secret weapon of unstoppable productivity, because when you rise early, you gain hours the world has thrown away. You step into a day with a head start while others are still lost in sleep. You have already created, you have already built, you have already moved forward. And those early hours become the fuel that multiplies your results. Productivity is not about working more. It is about working right. It is about working with focus and energy and clarity. And at 5am, that energy is pure, that focus is sharp, that clarity is undeniable. When you create in the silence of the morning, you produce work that is deeper, stronger, and more powerful than anything you can do in the noise of the day. That is why greatest achievers protect their mornings, because they know the first hours of the day decide the rest of the day. If you own your morning, you own your life. If you waste your morning, you waste your life. The 5M rule puts you in control. It makes your productivity automatic, because success is never about chance. It is about structure. It is about order. It is about habits that multiply results day after day. When you rise at 5am, you remove chaos, you remove delay, you remove excuses. You begin before the world distracts you. You begin before your energy is stolen. You begin before fear has a chance to whisper, and that beginning is everything, because once momentum starts, nothing can stop it. The 5M rule is not just about waking up early. It is about waking up to your destiny. It is about taking ownership of your time. It is about creating a life of purpose, focus, discipline, toughness, leadership, and productivity. It is about refusing to live like the majority and daring to rise like the few. It is about building a future so strong that success cannot ignore you. So ask yourself, will you keep hitting snooze and sleeping on your potential? Or will you rise with the winners and claim the life that was always meant to be yours? Because 5am is not just a time, it is a standard. It is the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary. It is the choice that creates champions.